There again. D-Day related German helmets. Not for the sake of them being certain models of helmets, but D-Day related, let's say. So, I've got my YouTube anti-slander barrier, lest people have a hissy fit, in place on that one. So this one, which I have to display upside down because it's full of mud and crap, this one is an M40 helmet of the 12th HJ division. I'm sure you know which one it is. This one was recovered from Aramanch in 2006. It was from a filled-in frontline defensive trench a few hundred yards inland from Sword Beach. Now, regardless of what you see in Private Ryan, one of the soldiers jumps into one of the trenches on Omaha Beach after it's been secured, and they recovered a HJ knife. Well, the HJ were not on Omaha Beach. They were not in defence of Omaha Beach. The HJ was some miles up the coast in defence of Sword Beach against the British. And that's where this helmet was found. I've obviously had to put a barrier on that side because of the electrician's insignia, shall we say. It's a single decal one. It's got a good percentage of the original liner still intact. That label's my label for reference because I've got a memory like a bloody sieve. And as you see, there's nothing on that side. It's very, very solid. I mean, if this was a World War I German helmet, it would fall apart. And I'll never collect World War I relic German helmets. That's a tip for you. Never collect dug up World War I German helmets because they don't last long. The steel in World War II German helmets are better quality. But I wouldn't go for a restored relic one. You know, or a repaint. But that's a good, honest D-Day relic. Bona fide D-Day relic. With its YouTube anti-slander barrier up for obvious reasons. So that's one example of one that was actually there. What tended to happen was when the initial invasion troops moved off the beach and carried on the fighting inland, troops coming up behind them would be kind of not equipped for assault. They would be the clean-up troops, as it were, to fetch ammunition and fuel and things like that. And you would also have clean-up crews that removed dead bodies, removed wrecked vehicles, and also they threw any beach detritus into trenches to fill them up. And then all these years later, people come along and dig in them and find things like that. Well, you used to find things like that. So yeah, so that is an M40. We'll maybe do a German steel helmet video at a later date, showing the differences between the M40, the M35, etc., etc. If you wish to have a video, I know there's some videos already on YouTube, people doing them, but yeah, so that's a bona fide D-Day relic from Aramanch, Sword Beach. The next one is this M42. This is an M42, a no decal one. This came from a seller in France. Unfortunately, it's got a bit of water damp because it's been kept on a surface and water has started at the bottom and it's leached its way upwards. And what you find is a lot of these German helmets, they kind of leach upwards with the rust. This has got all its liner intact, piece of paper there soaking up water, original chin strap, which is a bit crusty. But this is it's a field grey army. Originally started out as field grey army. It's got a tan / apple green / red brown Normandy camo on it. So that's a Normandy camo German helmet. In this instance, it's an M42. It could be any pattern. But yeah, that's a typical example of a Normandy camo German helmet. Unmolested, never been touched with. I've got around 15, 16 original World War II German steel helmets. Some I can't show because of the decals on them. But yeah, they're all unaltered, unmolested, just like these ones. This is how I like them. So that's a M42 Normandy camo helmet. Now the coastal artillery troops were manned by Kriegsmarine troops. So you get the gold eagle on a helmet. It doesn't necessarily mean that these helmets, although owned by the Kriegsmarine, ever saw service on a ship. 99% of all Kriegsmarine helmets with the decal on that survive nowadays are ex-coastal artillery. They've never been on board a ship. And I've got two examples to show you here. In a lot of cases, the helmets will be, depending on where it's situated on the Atlantic coast, the gun batteries tended to be camouflaged with paint. And so sometimes the German troops would camouflage their helmet with the paint in the same camo scheme that they did the guns in. And I've got two examples here. This one is, where will I put it? This one with the platform censorship is a Gold Eagle on an M42. To have a Kriegsmarine M42 is very, very rare. It's actually incredibly rare. A lot of people will give their eye teeth for this particular helmet. Gold emblem, Kriegsmarine. This particular one is a coastal artillery from the Pas de Calais in France. On top of it, it's had a hand-applied mottled green finish all over, which is what this guy's particular guns would be finished in, as camo from above. So that's a mottled green camo on an M42, which is very, very rare. Now, most of the Kriegsmarine coastal artillery helmets are the M40, and the M40 is more commonly found. Now, this one is unusual in that it's had a blue striped camo finish added to it. So that blue striped camo, as you can see, it's got stripes coming down it, which indicates that these people's guns would have been camouflaged in the same way. So that's a Kriegsmarine M40 coastal artillery. 99% of all coastal artillery helmets that exist on dealers' lists will be an M40. An M42 one, extremely rare with a Kriegsmarine decal on it. But yeah, good and as honest as the day it comes. So that's a typical example of, in inverted commas, Normandy German helmets that would have been seen by various troops, and all the different camo schemes that would have been encountered, including you dug up one. So at a later date, if you're interested, we'll have a look at the differences between the various patterns of German helmets. Like I say, I do have a lot of them. But yeah, so I thought I'd group all this lot under, in inverted commas, D-Day. So these are typical D-Day German steel helmets. Bye for now.